Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is August 11th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. State of California right here. You can see I've got some yellow lines drawn here, and this is the Medford National Weather Service in this area here. This would be Eureka, California. This is the Bay Area down the Central Coast. This is the Los Angeles National Weather Service, and you've got San Diego right here. Take a look over here for Phoenix, and that does include some portions of Southeast California, the desert areas, Las Vegas as well, and Reno also covers some portions of California also here. And this is the Sacramento National Weather Service, and this is the Hanford National Weather Service. So now you're an expert here on the regions across the Southwest USA. So let's scroll through here and what we dealt with yesterday, and we did have some thunderstorm activity moving up across some of the peninsular ranges here and near Las Vegas, just off to the north and west. Quite a few lightning strikes across Utah and Arizona there also. We scroll through the afternoon hours, and you can see some of the activity moving out into California here off to the south and west of Las Vegas. Looks like a transverse range. Eastern portions got some thunderstorms as well. So some pretty active weather there yesterday. The sun set, some lightning strikes still going on a bit. And then we go out towards this morning, and we're going to have some thunderstorm activity yet again today. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast as we always do, because we've got some interesting stuff here for the west coast of North America. Looks like a bit of a cool down is coming. Taking a look at the thunderstorm outlook for Monday, you can see it does impact some places like Klamath Falls, Mount Shasta here. This would be I-5, and this is again for tomorrow. Eureka National Weather Service graphic here. So today's rain chances and flash flood risk is there an excessive rainfall outlook here that does include some portions of California. As you can see, there's Needles in Las Vegas here, and you can see Victorville, and there's Barstow, and you can see across, again, some of the higher terrain there. There is the chance for some excessive rainfall. The biggest risk is out there across some of Utah and down towards the Grand Canyon and northern Arizona. So taking a look at the thunderstorm outlook, this is Phoenix as well. You see, it does include Joshua Tree and some isolated storms out there towards Desert Center. This would be Phoenix right here, muggy on rim, better chances, of course, and off to the south and southeast. Now, take a look at critical fire conditions. Don't want to leave this out as well. This is for Reno National Weather Service, and winds gusting to 35 miles per hour, low relative humidity. So this goes for Monday all the way noon through 8 p.m. coming up here. So moderate risk, be prepared. Looking at the high resolution rapid refresh, let me update this and make sure that we have the correct information here. In fact, let's back up to the 12Z run, because this goes out 48 hours and gives us a better view at what may occur tomorrow as well. But you can see as we go through the afternoon today, something similar, thunderstorm activity again across the higher terrain. So if you're across the San Diego or Los Angeles metro and you see those buildups occurring across the higher terrain, that is that thunderstorm activity. And of course, if you live out there, be prepared for some potential heavy rain, some dangerous lightning also. So we scroll on in through tonight and on through tomorrow, and you can see this activity starts to wane a bit, but still some thunderstorm activity here, possibly creeping in towards the Salton Sea and again across the higher terrain there. And then we scroll on in through Monday night and through Tuesday night shown there. Now, taking a look at the thunderstorm outlook, it does include, again, you can see that little clip for the peninsular ranges here just off to the east of San Diego and Los Angeles. This would be day 2, clipping northeast California. And day 3, we start to push this monsoon moisture and keep it more confined across Arizona and Utah. More on that here in a moment. Taking a look at one more thing here, the day 1 excessive rainfall outlook does include the higher terrain off to the east of San Diego there, and you can see what the slight risk is, and the marginal does include Las Vegas and Phoenix. And they also do this, in case you wanted to know, this is an excessive rainfall discussion here, and you can search this up on the National Weather Service website here, and you can see they talk about central Utah through northwest Arizona here. They did include some of California, but they didn't mention it in the discussion. So taking a look at the European on the left versus the GFS on the right, here's the state of California. Bottom left is the state of Hawaii, same map both sides, and you can see as we go on in through Monday, you see the troughing develop, pretty good model agreement there, a little bit stronger here on the GFS, but you can see no big ridge here. It really gets shunted off to the east, so that is going to limit the monsoon moisture that makes its way into California. So we scroll it a bit further as we go through midweek. Ridge tries to make a little bit of a comeback here, but then we get somewhat of a reinforcement across some of the west coast, and you can see still pretty good model agreement as we look out towards next Friday night. Definitely no heat dome set up shop here across the Southwest USA. So that's going to keep the heat at bay as we go through this upcoming week. More on that here again in a moment. Looking at the European, this is yesterday afternoons. It goes at 240 hours here. So if you watch the diurnal cycle here, you can see as we go on in through this week, we're not talking about much monsoon moisture. It stays more across Arizona, Utah, portions of Colorado, and New Mexico. And then we try to drop this troughing down here. And if we look through the extended forecast, you can just see it's not much precipitation for California, but then we get this upper level low spinning off the coastline that wants to try to bring some to northern portions, mainly north of the Bay Area. And that's way out into fantasy land here. I'm just kind of showing you any chances of precipitation, are still far off into the future as of right now. But we will be watching it. Things still can change. This is looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly. Get the European on the left versus the GFS on the right. This is, again, yesterday afternoon, so we can take a look at the extended. But you see, we're starting to lower, this is an anomaly, so we're starting to bring things down below normal for some areas. But you can still see mixed bag once you go Central California south across Southern California. So this is not going to be a complete wash of below normal temperatures for much of the area. But you can see GFS keeps it confined to Los Angeles, San Diego, Santa Barbara, Ventura counties there, and so you can kind of see there's some similarities, but there's also some differences showing up in the models. We scroll out a bit more, we're looking at days 5 through 6 now, and you can kind of still see that below average temperature hanging out here, and then the European really gets going here as we get on in towards the following weekend. As you can see, some below average temperatures showing up also, and the GFS kind of on board with that as well. We'll continue to scroll off in here and kind of see what gets shown, and you can kind of see some below average temperatures on the European. The GFS still wants to start to try to build the ridge back through the extended period across the Southwest USA. And again, I'll show you that here right now. Actually, this is the GFS ensemble. This is an average of all 30 of their ensemble members, and we're looking at 18,000 feet or 500 millibars. Here we go. The troughing develops as we go through this week here, suppressing our temperatures. A little bit of a ridge bounce back, but then we get that upper level low kind of setting up shop here, troughing up and down the west coast. You can see the high pressure is shunted off to the east here. It's going to keep that monsoon moisture probably out of California as we go. And then you can see the trough hanging out, but then the GFS wants to rebuild this ridge a bit here, and fairly strong signal on the ensemble run. There's a bit of a cat and mouse game between some of the troughing here off the west coast and the stronger ridging here, but we don't have to worry about that too much just yet. It's just something we're going to be watching as we go off into the future. So taking a look here at the Eastern Pacific, you can see we do have a 10% chance of tropical cyclone formation. There was a decrease in some of the thunderstorm activity with this, and it should not have an impact here on the Southwest USA anyhow. So taking a look at the National Weather models, this is for today. You can see 103 for Bakersfield here, and some pretty warm temperatures out there. Of course, it is summertime. There's Death Valley probably topping out at just over 120. But look at tomorrow. You can really see, look at Redding, California, and Red Bluff, and some of Sacramento, the Valley area, San Joaquin Valley drops off a bit, and then a bit more by Tuesday. And then kind of hanging out there for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but definitely not the excessive heat that we have been getting at times across some of the Sacramento and the San Joaquin Valley, no doubt. So we scroll on in through the extended forecast, and you can kind of see we keep things suppressed, but maybe start to bounce things back a little bit here as we go through the following week. Sorry, frog in the throat this morning. Taking a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, you can see the west coast here below normal signal is showing up. August 16th through 20th, Climate Prediction Center is all over it, but you can see, it's pretty sharp cutoff there before you start getting into some above average conditions. So it's something we'll be watching definitely day by day. And near normal precipitation above normal across the Pacific Northwest, and a little bit here across Arizona. So if we take a look at the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh, this is surface smoke. So Northern California, Southern Oregon, I feel for you right now. You guys are bathing in some of that surface smoke. You can see the forest fire activity kicking off, and it could bring some smoke all the way down across some of the valley areas, including Sacramento at times, but it's not the thick, dense variety at least. And we scroll on in through tomorrow, and things get a little bit better for some of Northern California, except in the immediate vicinity of this fire right here. I should probably actually look that up. I've forgotten the name of that one, but you can see a lot of smoke across Oregon as well as we scroll off in through Tuesday morning. So let's take a look at is that the Boise fire? I want to say that's 915 acres. That's probably the Hill fire there. You can see it's over 7,000 acres. It didn't grow on the last update here. That was 14 hours ago. The Boise fire, it didn't grow either. And the good news also coming up for the Park Fire is the growth is definitely slowed. It is the fourth largest California fire in history, but it's not growing too much, and it's not producing near as much smoke as it was. So Over the next few days, just want to point this out that we do have the windy and dry conditions across portions of Northern California, some of the Sacramento Valley also. So heads up for that. You can see as I click through Monday, Tuesday, it kind of moves off to the east here a bit across some of the Sierra Nevada. And then you go on through Wednesday here, and then we lessen some of the fire threat here as we're going to have that troughing around and drop the temperatures down a bit. So anyway, yeah, National Weather Service forecast offices. Hopefully, you guys like that. It gives you a better idea what areas are covered here, as far as Phoenix, Las Vegas, San Diego, Los Angeles, Hanford, Bay Area, Sacramento, Eureka, and Medford does include some portions of Northern California. So anyway, hopefully that's educational for you. But anyway, yeah, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.